Let's talk about this next trailer that came out this past week. It's called On the Rocks, and let me give you a quick synopsis. It's about a young mother who reconnects with her larger than life Playboy father on an adventure through New York. This, of course, is directed by the incomparable Sofia Coppola, and written by her as well, and stars a mainstay in Sofia Coppola's movies, Bill Murray, as well as Rashida Jones, Marlon Wayans, and Jenny Slate will be in the film. This is due out October. There's no specific date on exactly when it's going to be out in October, but it just has it listed as October of 2020. So there's a lot of interesting things to note. Let's start by talking about the actual trailer itself. But there's a lot to note about it. So give me your quick thoughts on the actual trailer itself.
So I mean, there's a movie that this reminds me of. It was a Jack Nicholson film where he kind of plays like a same type of character as Bill Murray does here. But
is it As Good as It Gets? Is that what it was? It was the one with what's her name? Not I want to say Meg Ryan because you always say Meg Ryan, but it wasn't Meg Ryan.
I forget. But yeah, you know what movie I'm talking about though. So this movie, it seemed like very charming to me. To be honest, the trailer itself wasn't too exciting. The story is what's exciting, or what's interesting to me at least. But the trailer, the only really thing I took from it was charming. I think Rashida Jones and Marlon Wayans, they're gonna be like they're gonna have some good chemistry on screen here. Yeah. I think Bill Murray and Marlon, they're gonna add like that humor element to it. But again, for me, the trailer wasn't too exciting. The story and the cast makes this movie interesting for me.
Yeah, I think that's very true. The actual trailer itself, I actually, weirdly enough, I actually liked how it was kind of laid out. It wasn't like in your face. It wasn't like, they weren't making an effort to make like so many jokes or so many, like it had jokes in it and it was funny, but it also kind of told us a bit of a story to it, but it didn't give you too much of the story of exactly like what's going to happen. It just kind of set the table, and I appreciated that. So that kind of snowballs into Sofia Coppola. She's obviously a fantastic director. Directed probably one of the greatest movies of all time, Lost in Translation, that she did, of course, with Bill Murray as well as Scarlett Johansson. But interesting thing is that so it turns out that Rashida Jones actually she was actually when Sofia Coppola was I guess she was like workshopping the script for Lost in Translation. Rashida Jones was actually the person who played Charlotte, and that ended up being Scarlett Johansson that ended up playing Scarlett in the actual film. But Rashida Jones read the part while Sofia Coppola was workshopping the script. So it's like a weird, kind of connection. Things kind of come full circle.
Years later now, it's same kind of thing. Same director, same actor, Bill Murray.
Exactly. And so this is actually the third time that Sofia Coppola as well as Bill Murray have hooked up. They were obviously Lost in Translation, but then she also directed A Very Murray Christmas, which I actually didn't watch, but also actually had Rashida Jones in it as well. And then, of course, this movie On the Rocks, which is pretty dope. Another fun fact about this movie, it's an A24 film. It's an A24 Apple TV Plus
Apple TV
hookup. So I guess this is a part of their deal. Actually, I think this is the first movie that's the first one released, a part of their deal of the slate of like movies and I think shows maybe that A24 is going to produce for Apple TV Plus, which I'm fucking excited about. Like, how everybody knows how the fuck we feel about A24 on this podcast. We fucking love them, all their movies.
And I think the placement here on Apple TV is super interesting. I wonder if this is going to be like a, I wonder if, because I think Tom Hanks just released a movie on Apple TV, which was a part of their subscription. So as a subscriber, you don't have to pay for it. You can just watch the movie. I wonder if this is going to be like,
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure
paid. You think so?
No, I'm sure it'll just be on
a part of their catalog.
Yeah, a part of their catalog. Yeah, like because we're paying enough for Apple TV. If this is being produced by App, or if they're having a hand in producing the actual film. Just give me
mine's came free for a year when I bought their expensive as fuck iPhone.
So I think you only pay for movies that they don't actually have like the licenses, or they license. They bought, or
that only makes perfect sense.
For it. I can't wait for this movie. I think it looks dope. I'm really excited to see Marlon Wayans in it. This is like my first time really, or not first time, but one of the rare times I think we're going to see him in a more toned down, less like, slapstick
Theatrical,
comedy
yeah.
situation.
And I think he does well in these roles where he plays a bit more of a serious character. He's always going to have that like that humor element to his roles, but I'm definitely interested to see him play more of like a serious, romantic, love interest type of role instead of like the lead comedian.
Yeah, and I think it's a good pairing of him and Rashida Jones. I think they both have similar sensibilities, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it seems like they complement each
Yeah,
other
even
pretty
in the
well.
trailer, it seems like they have like good chemistry,
Yeah.
and I bet their comedic timing is good. I'm hoping it hits.
Yeah. Let's hope. All right, moving on.